What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Mark here with the Better Mark. Let's get into the Wednesday, July 10th Major League Baseball betting card. We have a huge slate. This is something where we're going to get into a lot of games as we await the All-Star break to kind of commence. I think it's all truthfully much needed too. This is kind of where you start to get a little bit, not just from a handicapping standpoint, but from the actual players. I think you start to see them kind of anticipate that time off and away from the game. So that's going to really start to kind of not so much dictate my plays, but just give me a little bit of pause where we can maybe stay away from some spots here and there as we get through these final days. Okay, but I do have four best bets for you guys in this game or in these games, as well as the ever so coveted money line parlay of the day. And sometimes we go big, sometimes we go little. It just depends on kind of the flavor of the day within that money line parlay of the day and how it all works out. So I do have one. It's going to pay plus 576. We'll get into that a little bit at the end of this video when I do my recap of my best bets. So let's get down into it, guys. Make sure you all subscribe down below. Smash that like button, and please let me know what you guys will be on. Any feedback, comments, suggestions, tips, things I don't know about, or if you guys have the winning lottery tickets, feel free to leave those down below in the comments box down below. Okay, so that's what we got going on. Let's get into the first game here on the card. We have a dive into the odds jam, and if you do want to help out the channel, ways that you can do that are obviously if you want to sign up through my affiliate links for odds jam, 35% off promo code for your first month or annual plan. That is something where it really does. I'll give you an example for so like if you're out, you're hurrying to get something in, you want to find the best odds available, you don't have your laptop, you don't want to pull up 5,000 different apps or go to shop around different books. I use oddsjam, and it probably saves me about an hour every single day with what I do from a day-to-day standpoint. So time is money. It's a truly invaluable tool from my perspective. Also, that's where you're going to get into some of the fantasy elements that it can provide down the road, as well as arbitrage and positive EV. So make sure you guys all click my link, check it out for yourself. There is a trial, I believe, to go along with that 35% off the first month. So check it out for yourself, and really and truthfully, everybody should be using OddsJam if you're not already doing so, as well as a couple other tools that are out there for the sports betting in today's world. So that's what we have, and let's get down into the picks. First game, we have a lot of makeups today as well, so that's going to be something very fascinating that we have going on. But the first game on the card, Twins, White Sox, okay? So make sure you guys all listen up, because I am going to indicate if this is going to be the first game or second game of doubleheaders. So make sure you guys all kind of, stay tuned in for that. And make sure that if you do place any bets, make sure that when I give out picks, make sure it's always contingent upon the starting pitcher to going. Got burned a couple times with picks that I gave out due to that. So it's always important to make sure you make your bets contingent upon starting pitchers. In some cases, it could help you out, but in most cases, I think it's really important, especially if you have stuff tied together. Okay, but let's get into that Twins White Sox game. Pablo Lopez, and I'm sorry, the first I did it myself. First game is going to be at 2:10 first pitch. Bailey O'Bear and Eric Fetty. This will be the game of the day in terms of that twin bill. I guess we'll cover them both here in one sweep. I don't really like to bet doubleheaders personally. The only time I like to get involved is if statistically, if that first team, if the team that loses that first game, coming back on them in the second game, that's kind of how I approach it. But rule of thumb, I don't really stay in tune with doubleheaders. Just big reason for that is because these are kind of, athletes, and athletes can be prima donnas. You don't want to, play 18 innings per se. People get opportunities. It really screws up the whole bullpen handicap, rest, arms, all that good stuff. So it just gets a little bit funny towards the end of that long day. So especially with, morale where it's at in today's day with the All-Star break coming up. Definitely not going to be touching any doubleheaders unless we're going to go possibly overs in the second game, or we take the split and take that money line for the losing team in that second game. But nonetheless, this is one where we wouldn't be betting on it anyways. This is something where there's really no clear indication who's the better side. This is a fade against the White Sox, but quite frankly, I don't like the bet against Eric Fetty. He's been one of the bright spots of that Chicago starting lineup. 6 wins on the season in official starts, with 26 on the year for the White Sox. So a vast chunk of the White Sox wins have come on from the likes of Eric Fetty. So this would be a play for the White Sox. I think if we were going to get involved, plus 1.5, minus 125. But like I said, I'm not going to bet doubleheaders. All right, next game, Kansas City, St. Louis. That's where we have Alec Marsh and Andre Palante. We are going to take some doubleheader action in this one, but we aren't going to take that first game. So what I'm looking at today in terms of who's throwing and whatnot, make sure you guys all check it out. And I'm going to actually list the starting pitchers because I actually do like the second. I believe it's the second game of this Kansas City Cardinals game, and the reason why I am going to take it is because it is the second game. Okay, so when we get to that, I'll break that one down, but no play in that first game. Cubs Orioles. This will be our first official play. We're going drinking the Kool-Aid. This is a handicap basically. Corbin Burns is going to be an all-star. Well deserved. 9-3 on the season, 2.3 ERA. Getting it done from a K perspective. His last outing was absolutely fantastic. They may have left him in a little bit too long late in the game. But nonetheless, I'm a big backer of Corbin Burns. Great acquisition from Milwaukee for Baltimore. But we are taking the first 5 innings, okay, under 4.5. That's my play. This is also a play on Shota Imanaga. If I butcher that name for every single day, so don't get on me too bad. But no, this is a play that I like due to the fact that I stay away from the Cubs bullpen. It was an outlier yesterday, having the Cubs explode. Kind of one of the stingers that I had and suffered the only loss was with taking Baltimore on the money line. Sometimes you just have a dud, and that's a little quick recap in yesterday, which I didn't do earlier on in video, but we were profitable. It was a good day. We had a plus money bet on the parlay of the day come through, as well as the likes of the over Detroit, Cleveland, and we did lose that Baltimore money line. So, it's going to be something where, hey, sometimes you got to tip your cap. Chicago pulled a game out of their ass and they won a ball game. So it happens, and this is where we're going to bounce back, but still profitable on the evening. Okay, and also we're going to have a look into this because I did some diving into kind of some of this interleague action that we get going on. So the big thing for me is Shota within his kind of debut against teams. Okay, he hasn't pitched against Baltimore to my understanding, and that's something where we look into kind of that game log, and you can kind of see how he does against certain kinds of baseball teams. Okay, that's just a general kind of way to handicap it, but it sounds stupid, but it's truth. You can compare Baltimore to a few different ball clubs out there in Major League Baseball. And kind of translate them into some National League teams, but even against some of the teams that do correlate kind of statistically and from an approach standpoint, what Baltimore does, he's been effective. And his last time out, especially worth noting, was against Philadelphia on July 3rd. Albeit they were down a couple players from that potent lineup for the Phillies, but still 6 hits allowed, 3 earned runs over 6 innings of work. So I do like Shota to get through 5. That's kind of where I'm at. The only thing that worries me is that Baltimore kind of got their ass kicked last night. So it just sometimes these guys, especially a young ball club like this, they're going to be out looking for some revenge. I think they're going to come hungry this game. Quite frankly. And I don't blame them. So that's where we look into this. I'm going to be taking a play on the under 4.5. I just think that sometimes when you don't face Shota for the first time, it's kind of awkward, unorthodox, and it's quite effective, two times through the lineup. So that's why we're going to take that first 5 and stay away from the Cubs bullpen with the under 4.5 at a price that's right around $1.25. So depending on what you get it at, where you get it at, that's where I'm going to be at for this game. All right, Seattle Padres, this is no play for me. Seattle's starting to hit the baseball a little bit. Michael King going against Bryce Miller. If this game was in Seattle, I possibly would lean towards the under, but I'm not going to get involved. This is just untrustworthy arms going. Michael King has been one of the only kind of pitchers for the Padres that I do kind of take, but I just can't really get down with that lineup. Very hard team to handicap. They can go off for 10 plus runs, or they can just score a measly 3 or less. So that's something where I look at. If you want to get involved from an under standpoint, that's probably where I would lean, but no official play. All right, and then yes, we are going to have Cleveland in the money line parlay of the day. Full disclosure, so you guys can all kind of fire up about that. I know you guys love my Cleveland picks. So Tanner, BB going on the bump against the Tigers. Reese Olson 3-8. So this is a Cleveland play all the way. Detroit's a shell of themselves. This game used to have some merit. But the one thing interesting worth noting that I do want to tell you guys, since dating back a couple years, I don't know if it was 2021 or 2022, but Detroit owns one of the lowest ERAs against the Cleveland Guardians. I think it's like 2.21 or something like that. So, this second game that we had last night, kind of an outlier. I just like the spot against Ken Maeda. That's why I went with the over. And the fact that you can't really, anytime you get a good offense, kind of shut out, you shut them out. I'm always going to go back on them the next day. That's just who I am. But in this game, this matchup, this is a Cleveland play all the way, first and foremost. Second off, it's something where we want to look into that possibility, right, that this one would be shades towards the under. So that's kind of where I'm at. If I was going to play the total, I think we're starting to see that creep down a little bit. Under 8, best number available at DK. But for me, it's Guardians on the money line. Not interested in the run line, but that is also appealing to get that number down. So that's something where I'm at, but they will be in the money line parlay of the day. All right. Next, we're going to get into the New York Yankees, Tampa Bay Rays. I know a lot of people on the channel were on Tampa Bay yesterday. Great spot. They came through in a big way. Marcus Stroman against Zach Eflin. Stroman's been one of those pitchers I like to stay away from. I'm going to be honest with you guys. We look at some of his numbers, and quite frankly, what we've seen with New York is it's just they have been one of the hottest, streakiest teams. And when they're hot, they're on. But sometimes they just lay some duds. And the Yankees get a lot of public money, a lot of public action on a daily basis. Last time out against Cincinnati, Stroman gave up 3 home runs. So that was his last start on July 4th. Maybe it was just a little too much partying. They, little big apple action, a little too much time out on the city. But nonetheless, if we look into this game and you kind of see where we're going to be at from a runs perspective, I would lend towards taking the over. It's just something where you look into the under, I apologize. Zach Eflin and Stroman kind of have a weird way of kind of getting the job done. I could see this game being 3-2. I don't think that Stroman's going to go give up 3 home runs to the Tampa Bay Rays. We saw it last night. I think that final score was 5-3. So even in a game with, I guess, lesser pitching, you did get a result that still was over that 8. That still would have pushed on that 8 number, but it was probably 8.5 last night if we were going to look into that. But I would handicap this game towards the under. Just kind of where I'm looking for Stroman to bounce back, and I do trust Zach Eflin a little bit on the mound. So as long as there's no bullpen catastrophes and we could get this divisional game kind of under 8, that would be a strong lean. Otherwise, we are going to take the Yankees in this game. A little bit fishy, minus 103, so maybe there's some starting pitching changes going on. Who knows? But that's where we're at in this contest. All right, now I'm going to run through these last ones kind of quickly just to get you guys on your way because we are getting towards the end of my picks. The next game, Dodgers-Phillies. This is just a zigzag play with value. No handicap really necessary. I love betting Gavin Stone, 9-2 on the season, 3.03 ERA. Give me the Dodgers plus 125 on the money line. Off a loss, off a bad performance. We're going to lock that in. I know they're on the road, but it doesn't really bother me. Excuse me. Next one out there is going to be Oakland-Boston game. This is going to be a big one for our money line parlay of the day. Love Boston in this spot. Oakland is kind of, I think we're going to start seeing that white flag here very, very shortly as they look to implode the Tropicana and move westward into Las Vegas. That's kind of where, I think all eyes are going to be. I think it's starting to kind of take over and plague this ball club. But I still like, even though Nick Pivetta going against J.P. Sears, give me that matchup every day, twice on Sunday. We'll take Boston right now because they really have found themselves into wild card contention after their horrible start to the season. 50-40 now on the year, and this is a great spot for Boston if we're going to back the Red Sox. Okay. Then we can get into the Colorado and Reds game. This is where we're going to have kind of wow, excuse me, sorry about that. We are going to have this on our radar. I like this just solely if you're going to play this game. It's Cincinnati or nothing. They're at home, fading Kyle Freeland, 6.6 ERA. Don't overthink it. Reds are the side in this game, so that's where I'm at. Okay. Next one is Washington and the Mets. If you want to get involved, nrfi is live. Patrick Corbin, great no-run first inning pitcher. I believe he's like 14-2 or 3 on the season. But for me, the big thing here that stands out is he's still 1-8 on the season. So the side for me is taking the Mets at home, not getting involved at a $1.82 price. So for me, it's going to be a play on the over, but a no-run first inning bet as well. All right, this is where we're going to get into our next official play. This is Kansas City and St. Louis. Second game of the doubleheader. We are going to be taking the under Kansas City 8.5. I personally think Michael Wacha might be one of the most underrated pitchers in baseball from a statistics standpoint. Also, Sonny Gray, 9-5 on the season at home. Had a very, very rough outing last time out. So we're looking for the same kind of narrative that we had within drawing a blank. Within the Marcus Stroman kind of handicap. Looking for Sonny Gray to bounce back. Take the under 8.5 in Kansas City. -120, best bet available. Okay. And then we have a couple more to talk about. Miami, Houston. This is obviously a big number here. Not going to lay it here with the Astros, but we do have Framber Valdez going. So obviously it's going to be Astros or nothing. But -240 is very, very, very hard to get involved with. Okay. Quite frankly, if you wanted to bet this game, I probably would actually recommend the Marlins here on the money line just from a value standpoint because there is no value at -240. Okay, Pirates and Brewers. Okay, we have a couple left. This is a no play as well. Martin Perez going against Tobias Harris. Pirates have been kind of sneaky. Rowdy Tellez, a lot of other players. We got the Skeen story, and quite frankly, those top three arms there in the Pirates rotation, they have been getting the job done. And now we look at the Pirates. I know they're 44-47, which doesn't really tell the whole story because they did have one of the hottest starts in the history of baseball. I think where they got in their first 20 games, I think their record was absolutely insane. And then they kind of went on a cold streak, and now they're on another bit of a tear. So. For me, this is a pretty simple handicap. I do like runs in this game, but I do like Milwaukee as well at home. So that's where I'm at. -150, a little too steep, so I passed on this. But I do like the home team and taking the over 8.5 in this contest. Possibly even a Brewers team total. That kind of stands out to me as well. All right, and then we can get into the next game. We have 3 left. Let's look at the Texas and Angels game. Yesterday, I kind of snuck in a little 2-team money line parlay. I do this from time to time when I'm kind of up. It's kind of a stupid thing I do, but sometimes if I'm out just having fun, like yesterday, for example, you're going to think this is stupid, but believe it or not, it actually kind of hits a lot. I do it with like states. So if we get like action like we had yesterday, took the Houston Astros and the Texas Rangers in a 2-team money line parlay. That cash. The other day took Cincinnati and Cleveland. So I do it from like a stupid kind of like, it's just a fun way to have fun at the bar if you guys are out with friends and you root for the whole state of Texas and whatnot. So nonetheless, it's always fun to sprinkle a little bit over a few cold ones. So That's what we had going on. That one cashed. I like the Rangers again today. We are going to add them into the money line parlay of the day, so that will be there. Michael Lorenzen, I'll give him the trust over Griffin Canning. 3-9 on the season. Okay. Then we do have two final games: Atlanta and the Diamondbacks. This will be an official play. We are locking in the 8.5 for the over in Atlanta and Arizona. Charlie Morton going against Slade Ciccone. I think that Atlanta's team total is live, but give me the confidence with the 8.5 minus 130, because I do think that Charlie Morton will be that the D-backs are going to get to him a little bit earlier. I think that they're starting to come alive. We're seeing the Braves bats wake up. This is a game where I definitely think that we can sail over some numbers here. And I do want to make a note, and for those of you that are still watching, I know this is a little later and longer video than I wanted to do, but this one goes out to you guys for sticking around. But take a look at the box scores, and you can kind of get a general trend. It doesn't matter. These games are played in various states, hundreds of miles away from each other. But just take a general look at kind of the trend. Just skim through the box scores every once in a while. Every single day, you really should be doing it. And just kind of get that feel, that vibe, okay? Like yesterday, for example, pretty much every single game felt like an over, okay? And the ones that weren't, they were stuck at 7 or 8. Very few games were not close to double digits. We're not close to that 8 threshold. I think there was maybe 2. Everything else was double digits. So right now, you can kind of get that feel and string it together. Okay, what's this mean? All right, so pretty much everybody's kind of just, bullpens are lacking for whatever reason. You can kind of correlate this to timing of the year, right? And this is kind of going into my handicaps within the All-Star break. I think this is huge with kind of morale, and I think that you're going to start to see, clubs try out different pitchers, different lineups, different positions for some players, get some new looks. They're going to call people up kind of possibly here. It's just a weird time of the year. So I have noticed a trend towards the overs, and that's kind of why I've been playing a little bit more totals, because I have been noticing more prevalence within some of these numbers over the last week and a half. So if you follow me every day, you kind of can figure me out. I'm very I don't really tell you guys my whole process, but I give away some tips along the way. So this is where I'm at, and that's why a lot of my best bets, I've had a lot of totals, and it's kind of where I'm at in these games until we hit the All-Star break. So heat's a factor as well, humidity, all that good stuff. So I do like for a lot of totals here, and that's kind of where I'm at. All right, so that is my last best bet that I gave you guys. So we had 4, and then the final game, Logan Webb going against Chris Bassett, Giants, Blue Jays. Not going to play this one. If anything, I do like the over in this contest, but I'm not going to bet against Logan Webb. So if you do want to get involved, 7.5, you can find a 6.5 out there actually, minus 145 on Hard Rock. So I will tell you guys something, kind of. And this is pretty much 100% true, but if you ever see a 6.5, that 6.5 is there for a reason. So I know it's juiced up, but it would not shock me one bit if we did see a 2-1 game or something more so on the under 3. So if you guys want to have a little fun, a little late night sprinkle, 9:45 first pitch, don't be ashamed of doing an alternate total. Take the under 3.5 just for a little bit of fun. You never know. Get some plus money. I could see that being a fun bet at the end of the night, rooting for 0 runs in this matchup. Okay, so that's where I'm at with the picks. Quick recap, give you guys my best bets. Like I said, guys, if you have not done so, make sure you all subscribe down below. And no, I'm not giving you a blank green screen. There they are, just waiting for them to pop up. So that's where we're at. You can see right here. Quick recap: under KC 8.5. Dodgers on the money line. Chicago, Baltimore under 4.5 first 5. Atlanta over 8.5. And that money line parlay of the day, we are going Texas, Cleveland, Boston, and the Mets. Okay, plus 576. 4 teams, money line parlay. Hopefully we get that one to cash. And then kind of have something to look forward to towards the end of the evening, outside of watching some of the soccer going on within the Copa America as well as the European Cup. Really excited for the England-Netherlands game today. That'll be a good one. So if you guys are into soccer, see on over Discord. We'll talk about it there. But these are my best bets. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe on your way out. Smash that like button. And we'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers.